Hello friends, welcome back to this video. In this video, we'll be talking about the figure of merit in the case of FM receivers. We have already talked about the figure of merit in the case of AM receivers, where we have already discussed two types of AM receivers, DSB FC and DSB SC. So further in DSB FC, we have already discussed the envelope detector as well as synchronous detector. So now coming to this video, here we are going to discuss the figure of merit in the case of FM receivers. So FM receivers block diagram look like this. So what are the various blocks? So first is my modulated signal. MT represents the modulated signal. So when in the channel the modulated signal is added with the noise, so WT represents my noise. MT plus WT represents ST. So ST is falling on the receiver. So in the receiver, the first block is band pass filter. Like the way I discussed in the case of AM, we are using the band pass filter as the first block to remove all the higher frequencies which just composes of the noise. Here we don't have any signal. So now band pass filter will reject all the high frequency noise. But there is a problem. In the case of AM, I knew what are the frequencies over which my modulated signal is present. Okay, so in the case of AM, I knew the modulated signal was ranging from FC plus FM to FC minus FM. So this is the range of frequency. With the help of these frequency information, I can design the band pass filter's cutoff frequency in the case of AM. So this is what I did in the case of AM. Now here in the case of FM, we know the frequencies are ranging from minus infinity to infinity in the case of modulated signal when we have wide band FM. So what are the frequencies which will transmit, or what are the frequencies which will stop? So we talked about a term which is called band limiting. In the which video I talked about it? In the video where I discussed about the Carson's rule. So here I discussed how we can band limit the wideband frequency modulated signal. So with the help of band limiting, I can find out the cutoff frequency, and with the help of this cutoff frequency, now I can design the band pass filter. So I require the cutoff frequency for the designing of the band pass filter. This cutoff frequency I am taking from the Carson's rule. So I am just band limiting my signal so that most of the information, or 99% of the information, will come, and even if the information is lost, that is maximum up to 1%. So that information, 1% information, contains a lot of noise. This is why we are discarding it. So now up to here, I hope you understood. So if I am taking the bandwidth, Nyquist bandwidth, to be BT, so this is how the band pass filter will look like. So here the bandwidth is BT, which is centered around FC and minus FC. And now this represents the narrow band pass filter. So here BT is very much less than FC. So it is the concept of narrow banding. I hope you remember what was the concept of narrow banding. This frequency over which it is operating is very much less than the highest frequency over which it is centered around, that is FC. So now it is a narrow band pass filter. So now here, this is the range of FM now. What is the range of FM? Because the bandwidth is BT, so range would be FC plus BT upon 2. So here I'll be having BT upon 2, and here I'll be having BT upon 2 in the negative side. So FC plus BT upon 2 and FC minus BT upon 2 is the range. So now easily I can design my filter. So here if I talk about this noise, after the band pass filter, the noise has in phase and quadrature component. I am talking about the output noise. So in phase noise can be represented as Ni cos 2 pi FCT, and the quadrature component of noise can be represented as Nq sin 2 pi FCT. So I used to denote the noise in the terms of RT as well. So here we have variable amplitude and variable phase. So this is what this noise is representing. I have already talked about this type of representation when I was talking about the narrowband noise. So it is nothing but just some different representation of the same noise. So here RT is given as the amplitude. So what is the amplitude here? Ni square t plus nq square t under root. So this is my RT. Now if I talk about psi t, so psi t would be tan inverse nqt upon nit. So now here if I talk about RT is having the Rayleigh distribution and psi t is having the uniform distribution in 0 to 2 pi. So I hope you remember all these things. I have already discussed about these things. So now if I talk about MT, so the first thing I know now, NT I know. Now I should know what is MT, modulating signal. So modulated signal was represented as AC cos 2 pi FCT plus 2 pi KF integration from 0 to t xt dt, where xt is my information signal or message signal. So AC cos 2 pi FCT plus 2 pi KF integration 0 to t xt dt represent my FM signal. So I hope you remember this. Now what I am doing, it's a big term, so I am taking this as phi t. So this was psi and here I am taking phi t. So phi t is equal to 2 pi kf integration 0 to t xt dt. So now how I can represent my MT? So MT can be represented as AC cos 2 pi FCT plus phi t. So now I hope you are clear about MT. So now here ST is the summation of MT plus WT. So what will be ST after the band pass filter I am talking about? So after band pass filter, ST will be equal to AC cos 2 pi FCT plus phi t. This signal will pass through the band pass filter. I am designing it in such a way. So AC cos 2 pi FCT plus phi t plus this is the noise. So RT cos 2 pi FCT plus phi t. Now here I was having the additive white Gaussian noise, it is turned into the narrowband noise. So RT cos 2 pi FCT plus phi t represents, so this is psi t represents my narrowband noise. So now here we are not concerned about the amplitude of this term ST. Why? Because here we have limiter. Limiter will limit the amplitude even if it is changing with respect to the message signal or noise. So amplitude won't make any difference when it passes through the discriminator. So at the limiter, I know that I should avoid looking at the amplitude now. So here I should look at the phase. Phase is the phi t or psi t. So now here if I talk about this full term, I will be seeing how I can calculate the phase. So here this is my AC cos 2 pi FCT plus phi t plus RT cos 2 pi FCT plus psi t. This represents the ST. So first thing I should know is AC cos omega CT. So this is my AC cos omega CT. I have taken AC cos omega CT to be parallel to the x-axis. So now here this term is AC cos omega CT plus phi t. So now here if I have phi angle, so you can understand it, I am not drawing it again. So here this is phi, I am just making a rough diagram to make you understand. So this is phi and this is AC cos omega CT plus phi. Now I must know what is RT. RT is at the angle psi t. So at 2 pi FCT. So omega c was, this is omega CT's direction. So if I talk about psi, so this is my psi t. So here I have represented, this is omega CT's direction. So this is my psi t. So now this would be RT. At psi t angle I have RT. So now I have plotted RT as well. Okay, so now here this angle will be, I have extended this line. So this angle will be, this angle and this angle are same. So this angle is phi t. So now this will be whole full angle minus this angle, which is psi t minus phi t. Okay, so here if I know this is psi t If I extend this angle is also phi t. So this angle will be easy to calculate, full minus this angle, which is psi t minus phi t. Okay, so now I hope you are clear about the angles. So angles will play a great role in this reception, because I am just concerned about the angle. In the discriminator, the angle will be changed and the angle will be differentiated. So I am concerned about the angles here. So if I plot this again, so this was AC, this is RT, this is RT cos psi t minus phi t. If I extend this, here I'll be having cos term, so here I'll be having cos term of this, and here I'll be having sin term of this. So this is cos term, this is RT of sin term. Okay, so now this is RT, this is MT. Okay, so RT plus MT gives me ST, so ST will be equal to RT plus MT, and I am taking this to be ST. So this angle I am taking as theta. Okay, so now I am concerned about the angle theta only. So this ST is going to the discriminator, so I must know about this angle theta. Okay, so now here this is RT sin psi t minus phi t, this is RT cos psi t minus phi t. Okay, and this is AC cos omega c t plus phi t. Okay, so now if I need to find out theta, so here if I see this triangle, this angle will be theta minus phi. So this theta minus phi triangle, so I am looking at this triangle. So this triangle has the angle theta minus phi. Okay, so now if I talk about the tan of theta minus phi, so tan of theta minus phi will be equal to the perpendicular. The perpendicular is RT sin phi minus psi minus phi. So here this is the perpendicular upon the base. So base is AC cos omega c t plus phi t plus RT cos psi minus phi. So I have taken AC only because the cos term will be a term from -1 to 1 only, and AC is a very big value, so I have neglected this term, and this is just representing the phase. So here I am concerned about the amplitude or the magnitude of this distance. I am not concerned about the phase. So here I will be having AC plus RT cos psi minus phi. Okay, so now here you should know that theta t minus phi t is very much less than 1. So it is a very small value, and RT in comparison to AC, it is very less. RT was representing the amplitude of the noise. Amplitude of the noise will be very much less than the amplitude of the modulating signal, which is AC. Modulating signal is a very high amplitude signal in comparison to the noise. So I can neglect RT in comparison to the modulating signal. So I have neglected RT when compared to AC. Now here I said theta t minus phi t is very small value. This angle is very small. So now tan of theta will be equal to theta. When theta is very small, tan of theta will be equal to theta. I have taken theta t minus phi t is equal to r. So tan of r will be almost equal to r, and cos of r will be equal to 1. I hope you remember, cos is like this. So at very small value of r, the theta value will approach to 1. And in the case of tan, it is equal to the theta only. So I hope now these things are clear. So now I'll be using these assumptions, I'll be putting it in this equation. So here I'll be removing tan theta is equal to theta. So here I'll be using theta t minus phi t. It is almost equal to RT sin psi t minus phi t upon AC. So I have neglected this term. Okay, so now here I can take this psi t in the right hand side as well. So theta t will be equal to psi t plus RT sine psi t minus phi t upon AC. It's nothing, it's just the simple mathematics. So here, if I talk about the yt is the output of the discriminator. I hope you remember in the frequency discriminator, the differentiation of the phase was used to happen. I know now theta t. Okay, so I will discriminate or differentiate this theta. I know the phase. In the discriminator, the phase will be differentiated. So after this, the phase differentiated value is yt. So I'll be differentiating phase 1 upon 2 pi d phi t d theta t upon dt is equal to yt. So now I have to differentiate this theta t. So here 1 upon 2 pi. So what is phi t? Phi t was 2 pi kf integration of xt dt. So this is phi t. So 1 upon 2 pi, differentiation of this would be 2 pi kf and the differentiation of integration of xt. So now this will cancel out and here I'll be having 2 pi and 2 pi will also cancel out and I'll be having kf into xt. So the first term I'll be getting the kf into xt. So xt is the message signal. So this term represents the message signal. So I hope now it is clear how I got the message signal. So now here, if I talk about the power of the message signal or the power of the signal at the output, so here I'll be writing it. So power of the signal at the output is equal to kf square into, so power of xt px. So this is the power of the signal at output. Now the second term is 1 upon 2 pi into, this AC was constant, so I have taken AC outside, d by dt of RT sine psi t minus phi t. So this term represents the noise. And now this term has this component phi t, which is the component which denotes the message signal. So according to a research by the scientist Rice in 1963, he proved that the noise does not depend upon the message signal. It is independent of the message signal. So I can assume the noise to be equal to, so this component I have neglected. So noise is equal to 1 upon 2 pi AC d by dt RT sine psi t. I hope it is clear. So from where he proved like this does not depend upon psi t, you can get it into this research paper. So now here I have neglected this term. I have RT sine phi t. So now if I talk about RT, so this is RT. RT is composed of NIT and NQT. So this is the NIT cos psi t and this is NQT sin psi t. So this is how I can represent RT. So this is NIT cos psi t, this is NQT sin psi t. So now here NQF can be represented as RF into sin psi f and NIF can be represented as RF cos psi f. So okay, so this was RT, this is NIT, this is NQT. So NIT will be equal to RT sin psi f, NIF will be equal to RF cos psi f. So now I hope this is clear. So now here what I require, RT sin psi f. RT sin psi f will be equal to NQT. So this is equal to NQT. Now if I talk about this in the frequency domain, in the frequency domain NDT can be represented as NDF and 1 upon 2 pi AC, it is represented as it is. So now here d by dt can be represented as j omega in the frequency domain. So here omega is represented as 2 pi f. So 1 upon 2 pi AC into j into omega f. So 2 pi f into NQF. NQT represents this term. So NQF is the Fourier transform of NQT. So this 2 pi and 2 pi will get cancelled out and here I have NDF. So I'll be having JF upon AC into NQF. So from here I can get the term NDF upon NQF. So NDF upon NQF represents the transfer function of the noise. So the transfer function of the noise will be having JF upon AC magnitude. Okay, so now from this transfer function I can find out the power spectral density. So SNDF has the relation with the SNQF as it is multiplied with HF square. I know this HF, I'll take HF square, I'll take its magnitude, so magnitude will be F square upon AC square. I'll multiply it with the power spectral density of NQ. So NQ's power spectral density is N0. So here the frequencies are band limited between BTs, because here in SQF also I have the band limited frequencies, and from where I band limited it, from minus BT by 2 to BT by 2. So if I multiply it by F square upon AC square, so here the frequency is 0, so it is 0 here. Now when I increase the frequency, this component will increase. So here what is the outcome? Outcome is that when I am increasing the frequency, it implies that noise at output is increased. So I hope this is clear. Now the next block is low pass filter. So the low pass filter is again band limiting it to the B. So B represents the maximum frequency of the message signal. So maximum frequency of message signal, or it is equal to FM. You can take it FM as well, there is no issue. So now here if I band limit it, so instead of going to BT by 2, it will go to B and minus B. This is F, this is S and D, F. So now I need to find out the area. Area will give me the output noise power. So P and O will be equal to minus B to B integration of this term. So it is N0 F square upon AC square DF. So I am integrating over DF. Now if I integrate this term over DF, I will be getting output noise power. So P N0 will be equal to N0 upon AC square. These two are constant, so integration of F square will be F cube upon 3, and it is changed from minus B to B. So let's put the value minus B and B. So here I'll be having N0 B cube upon 3 AC square minus of minus N0 B cube upon 3 AC square. So it is equal to 2 N0 B cube upon 3 AC square, or instead of B I can write FM cube. So this is the power of output noise. Now I can calculate the SNR of output. So SNR of output is represented as the output power of signal. So this is KF square into Px upon the output noise power, which is 2 N0 FM cube upon 3 AC square. So this is SNR of output. Now if I talk about the channel SNR, so SNR of the channel is given by the power of the signal in the channel. So the power of the signal is constant AC square upon 2, because I am not changing the amplitude. Amplitude was equal to AC only. So the power of the signal in the channel will be AC square upon 2, and the noise power will be N0 W. I have already talked about this various times. So figure of merit. So figure of merit will be equal to output SNR upon channel SNR. So output SNR is So I have taken this 3AC square in the numerator. So SNR of the output can be represented as KF square into Px into 3AC square upon 2 N0 FM cube. Now SNR of the channel is AC square upon 2. So this 2 N0 W. So W is equal to FM. I am taking it equal to FM only. So here I will be having FM square and naught will get cancelled out, 2 will get cancelled out, and here AC square will get cancelled out. So what I am left out with, the figure of merit is now equal to KF square into PX into 3 upon FM square. So now here I know what is the PX in the case of sinusoidal signal. So if I take my signal xt to be cos 2 pi FM t into AM. So this is my xt, its power will be, so Px will be equal to AM square upon 2. This is the thing I know. So I'll be representing Px as AM square upon 2. Further I know beta is equal to Kf AM upon Fm. So which means Kf is equal to beta Fm upon AM. So I'll be replacing Px and beta in the figure of merit. So here figure of merit will be equal to Kf square. So it will be equal to beta square Fm square upon AM square into 3 into Px. So 3 into AM square upon 2. So now all of the things will get cancelled out. AM square, Fm square. So here Fm square was in the numerator as well. So Fm square will cancel out. So figure of merit will be equal to 3 by 2 beta square. So now what I did here, instead of Kf square I put beta square Fm square upon Am square. So here if I have beta square Fm square upon Am square, so Fm square will get cancelled out. Here instead of Px I'll put Am square upon 2. So Am square and the denominator Am square will get cancelled out, and here I'll be left out with 3 by 2 beta square. So now from here it is clear that the figure of merit in the case of Fm will depend upon the square of beta. And what is the beta? Beta is the number which is greater than 1. So in the case of wideband FM it is very much greater than 1. So from here you can get to know that figure of merit in the case of wideband FM would be very high. This is the reason why the receiver of the wideband FM behaves in such a good manner. So this is the reason we use FM receivers most. So here the figure of merit is very high. In the case of AM, the figure of merit was highest up to 1. So here I'll be concluding my session. I hope you understood each and everything. If you still have any doubt in any of the part, you can put the doubt in the comment and I'll try to revert as soon as possible. I hope you like this video. If you like it, share it with your friends, subscribe the channel and push the like button. Thank you.